Hello heretics, we got some huge news from the Factory Fortress Recruitment Center. They recruited another one, and this time they got the Jervis. Jervis Johnsson, and I actually met him once 6 years ago now when I was at we're at the Warhammer World 2019, and he was at the Age of Sigmar side of things, and I was very involved with Age of Sigmar at the time. And I remember I stood in line to question him about the rule for the Cities of Sigmar, or the Free Guild Guard as it were called back then, like a specific rule that the Swedish Age of Sigmar scene had thought about long and hard on how to interpret what Holy Within meant. And I met him and I asked him like our community question, and we shook hands, and he was really nice about it, and because he was so involved with the Age of Sigmar at the time. But I'm very happy they got him. I feel like the only one's missing now is Rick Priestley, but we'll see. In the podcast I had with Feel No Paint, we talked about Andy Chambers and his contributions to the rules and how fun it will be. You can have a listen at that earlier podcast. But yeah, we talked about the early Necromunda and like the campaigns rules. And this is the original Necromunda book, written by Jervis, Johnsson and Andy Chambers. What a dream team to have, right? This will be sick. Very excited to see what he brings to the table. And I got some other of my favorite books here. I just want to show, like the Chaos Dwarves. I play Chaos Dwarves in both 8th edition Fantasy and Old World, and Age of Sigmar a little bit when it was possible. And this one is not neither Andy Chambers or Jervis Johnsson. It's Brian Ansell. But wanted to showcase that. And this one mostly for the amazing cover art. But that's also a little bit Andy Chambers. But I digress. We're going to talk about our Trenchy Crusade, won't we? And I made a video earlier about the 1.6.2 rules where I read it up and down. It's not very fun to watch, I imagine. But if you like to hear like the entire thing, I do read it. And they shortly after announced that 1.6.3 is out, where they showcased some more interesting things. And we'll go through that, and I'll give you like a too long didn't read version of everything if you don't want to watch the entire video. But I appreciate if you do, and I appreciate every subscriber and commenter at this point, because we're quite close to reaching the 1000 subscriber goal. So let's do this and read some rules together. And one thing they added in the 1.6.3 are some very fun Plague Knight ranks. And it says here that you may have one rank per Plague Knight if you pay the necessary cost as indicated. You can buy a Knight Companion of the Fly. I love this because that means you can like add a small little fun model, which will indicate they have like +1 dice at ranged or melee. Costs 5 ducats. So not both. They can buy Knight of the Rotten Cross, and this means they can buy weapons from New Antioch or Heretic Legion list, and this is very, very fun. It's super cheap as well with only 5 ducats, I feel like. So I actually have like 4 Plague Knights printed out ready to paint, but maybe I need to do some kit bash before. And the Plague Almoner, the model requires 1 less blood marker to cast Bloodbath, which means you only need 2 blood markers to Bloodbath a person or a model that is lying down. Sweet! I like Plague Knight only list feels even more fun now, especially if you play with the mount rules and you can have a Giga Maggot which you ride on. And yeah, that's great fun, I feel like. Yeah, the too long didn't read for the entire patch, as you were, or that they changed the wording for courts to like differentiate the magic, the powers and the magics. And they nerfed court in some ways with costs and some equipment, and they added not a unit, yeah, but kind of unit to the Black Grail, which you can have the pus plate drinkers following a model around. Yeah, so they nerfed courts with the Hunter of the Left Path. The cost increase for his amazing powers went up, sadly. And the Hell Knights got armor. They must buy an armor, but they also can choose which armor they want to buy. Desecrated Saint has some clarified rules. And Trench Ghost got some nerf with their -1 dice, semi-corporeal, only works in range, not in melee. The Hounds of Black Grail got a new ability, a new rule on them, which if an enemy model is activated while in melee combat with the Hound, they suffer 1 infection marker, which is very, very sweet. You can buy so many dogs with this. Just go around and do infection. Yeah, so not... there's some nice clarifications, some Ducat changes here and there, but nothing major, I feel like. And but you can watch the entire thing to listen to every new added rule and each Ducat change and everything. We need to read through the agreed Goetic powers as well, which is added in the 1.6.3. Body of Gold, 20 Ducats. This model gains the keyword Golem. If the model has the keyword Tough, it loses it. Elite only. Keyword Golem. Interesting. Very interesting. Black Heart, 20 Ducats. This Goetic 1 power allows the model to add +1 dice to any action it takes. Can be used multiple times per activation, but only once per each activation. Alright, so you can use it multiple times, but only once per activation, if that makes sense. Like, if you move, want to dash, that's 1 time. Want to fight, 1 time. Want to shoot, 1 time, and so on. Universal Greed, 15 Ducats. For every model in the opposing force that is worth 150 Ducats or more, this model gains +1 blessing dice at the start of the battle. Oh my lord, for every model in the opposing force that is worth 150 Ducats or more. Wow, so fun to have against an elite warband. I like this one. Yeah, those 3 are fun additions, I feel like. Month, new Crusade rules changelog. Thomas released this yesterday, 1.6.2, and it includes a few changes, and I just thought we could look them through and see what's going on in the Trench universe rules-wise. And we'll just get into it. All the changes are marked in red, which will make it easy for us. We don't need to use a Copilot or an AI to compare different rule set from another, which I've been doing before, which was a lot of work. But let's get on to it. Keyword demonic. So the court has the keyword demonic. A model with this keyword ignores any additional. Okay, it's just a clarification. Obsidian Rifle is elite only and a limit of 3. Fair. Very good rifle. Infernal Armor, 50 Ducats. Hell Knights only. It weren't before. maybe it wasn't. Very expensive, but fair, since it's so good. And they aren't demonic, I think, so yeah, it will work well on them. Ophidian Rifle rules. This weapon ignores the penalties for cover and long range and rolls against the models at long range when cover plants 1 dice. These bonuses stack for a possible total of 2 dice. Yeah, it's the same as before. Maybe it's just clarified a bit better. Serpent Assault Gun. When this model takes this ranged action. Okay, so this clarified with this. I wonder what happened there, what shenanigans people made to make this clarification. And the Bow of Lethe rules. Before rolling an injury for this weapon, choose one of the following effects to apply. Yeah, the injury ignores armor, or roll the injury with +2 dice. I feel like it was the same before, but maybe again it just clarified. Yeah. Torture Instrument. This weapon rolls d6 on injury short or 2d6 on bloodbath. Whoa! Nice. I haven't read the Torture Instrument before. That's nice. Anyway. Hellblade rules. This weapon rolls for injuries with +1 dice. Because this weapon has the keyword fire, it inflicts additional blood marker on hit. Yep. Goetic power and spells. Many of the Word of the Court have access to Goetic abilities, powers and spells. So they're trying to differentiate the powers and spells here, but I need to learn myself what the difference are. Goetic spells are marked with the keyword Goetic, where the number in brackets indicates how many blood markers will have to be spent in trigger to the effect of the spell. Yep. Blood markers can be used this way and removed from the game to describe the effect of the Goetic spell that takes no action roll needed. Unless outlined in the spell, despite not requiring an action roll, Goetic spells are actioned, and, as with other actions, spells can only be used by the model once per activation. Okay. I feel like Goetic powers are spells still, there's no difference. Goetic spells. Okay, so we have just read about Goetic spells so far. Okay. 7 deadly sins. Many of the were devastating spells and other powers. Yep. Again, so powers, we haven't read about a power yet. We've read about the spells that cast blood markers. Burning Inferno. 15 ducats. As a make a ranged attack action. With Goetic 1 to 3. That opens a portal to the Lake of Fire, drawing forth a great screaming ball of lava. Make a ranged attack action. Penalties for long range, but not cover. The Burning Inferno has the keyword Blast X for the... Okay, so it has the... If you spend 3, it will have Blast 3. That's nice. Sorcerer only. Any warband. And we got this nice little guide, Slave Master, 10 ducats. As a Goetic 1 spell, this model can command any Yoke Fiend within 12 inches to do any of the following. Move, range attack, melee, sacrifice. So the sacrifice is the Yoke Fiend kills itself as a casualty. That's a cheap Slave Master. I wonder how many people play the Yoke Fiends, like as many as possible, and kind of horde army. Wrath. Charge of Hatred, 10 ducats. When this model charges, it can always move the maximum distance of 12, although it suffers penalties to this movement as standard. Additionally, it must make a risky action to charge an enemy model. Okay, so it is risky if it wants to charge any other than the closest one. Envy. Envious Eyes. Okay, that's the one where you can choose the armor and weapons from different sub-factions and factions. A sorcerer with this power can be equipped with a ranged weapon purchased in this way, even though they can normally only equip melee weapons. Oh, okay, so it clarifies they can buy ranged weapons. That's sweet. What yours is mine. As a Goetic 1 spell, this model can remove one blood marker or blessing marker from any model that it can see. This model then gains a marker of that type. This marker can come from models regardless of their keywords and is separate from blood marker used to cast this spell. Yep, you need costs more than you need more blood markers. Exquisite Pain, 15 ducats. As a Goetic 1/2 spell, this model inflicts X blood markers on an enemy model that it can see, where X is the amount of blood markers spent. Nice! I like that one. Easy to understand, like for the stupid people like me. Call of Flesh, 15 ducats. As a Goetic 2 spell that ends this model's activation, Beckoning Magic fills the air. When the enemy next activates a model during this turn, that model must make a move as its first action. This move must be a retreat if the model started its activation in melee with a model other than the caster. If that model is down, it instead stands up and moves. During this movement, it moves a direct path toward the caster of the spells through any passable terrain, including dangerous, jumping down, etc. The model suffers injuries as normal. It can act normally after taking the prescribed action or attempting to take the prescribed action. It couldn't, but cannot target the caster of the spell during the activation with ranged or melee attacks. Okay, so it forces it to move the way towards the caster, so you can move it away from objectives and line of sight from other things and stuff like that. Pride, 15 ducats. While this model is on the battlefield, it Warband automatically succeeds morale tests. Wow! Proud Defiance. That's sick. Light of Samael. As a Goetic 2 spell, this model can hit an enemy model it can see within 24 inches with Punishing Light. That model rolls on the injury chart. If the target is on a 32mm or smaller base, it was not taken out of action. It is pushed d6 directly away from the caster, stopping if it hits another model. If it's bigger, I guess it doesn't get pushed. Nice. Sloth. Morphean Mind. No more than one blood marker at a time can be used negatively affect an action or risky action this model takes. Kinda expensive. I feel like people don't spend blood markers to affect you negatively as much as they spend it on bloodbathing and stuff like that, but that might only be my friends who I play with. I have no idea how other people in the world play it. Please comment below. A limit of 2 of this. Alright. Dammonium Meridianum, 20 ducats. It is all but impossible to approach this infernal warrior with any energy or enthusiasm. Open terrain within 6 inches of this model is considered difficult. Dangerous terrain within 6 inches of this model is considered both dangerous and difficult for enemy models. Oh, nice. I love the flavor text. Gluttony, belly of the beast, 5 ducats. This creature is known to feast on vast amounts of flesh before it leaves hell. If it is cut in battle, its opponents suffer agonizing burns as the acidic contents of their gut gushes all over them. Whenever an enemy model inflicts 1 or more blood marker on this model with melee attack, that model suffers 1 blood marker. Nice. Cheap, I'd say, for that. 5 ducats. And Carrying Gluttony, 10 ducats. As a Goetic 2 spell, this model can curse any enemy model that has not been activated during the battle with Ravenous Hunger. Pick any 1 equipment item, not weapon or armor, the model is carrying. The item is discarded for the duration of the battle as the model have been chewing on it. Very situational, I feel like. But first of all, you need to face someone that has an equipment item that isn't a mod weapon or armor that's good enough for you to care to spend Goetic 2, like 2 blood markers, to remove from the game. On top of that, you need to spend 10 ducats on a model. Yeah. Eater of Flesh, 10 ducats. Whenever a model without the keyword demonic or black rail suffers 1 or more blood markers in melee combat from the model with this power, you can remove any number of those markers and heal an equal amount of blood markers from the model with Eater of Flesh power. I like it. So you heal yourself by hurting others. Exactly like real life. Joking. Don't do that. Abilities. Goetic powers. You may purchase up to 2 Goetic powers or spells for the Praetor. Keyword the court. What was it before? Was it... Who could buy this? Oh. Maybe it's just